The holiday blues are very tough. Angela Cummings is a friend of the show, and the Illinois chapter of the AFSP does a couple events this time of year about the holiday blues. And, of course, is always there to talk about depression, suicide prevention, and things of that nature. It's a serious topic, Angela, but, from the holiday blues where you just can't feel the Christmas spirit or shake out of the funk to you're really, really in a dangerous spot, it's all worthy of discussion, right?
Absolutely. Hey, Steve, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. I know you got a couple of talks coming up. Before we get to that, what are some of the things, because I don't want people to feel alone, and people who are dealing with holiday depression sometimes do. They go, everybody's having fun but me. What do you look for? What should people be aware of?
Well, I mean, absolutely. There's a ton of pressure at this time of year to be happy. And here we are, exactly 2 weeks out, pretty much from Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right in the middle of Hanukkah, and there's just a lot of pressure about, like you said, this is the happiest time of the year. And so if you're not feeling so happy, you can start to think, well, is something really wrong with me? What's going on? But what we know is, the American Psychological Association did a survey, and actually 38% of people surveyed said that their stress levels increased during this time of year. And then having increased stress can lead to physical illness, depression, anxiety, and substance misuse, which, of course, is, really rampant at this time of the year, too, because there's parties. There's parties. Even if you're not a heavy drinker, you may find yourself drinking like 3 to 4 times a week just because you're there at the office party or somebody had an open house. And, all of these things can start to compound and make someone just start to feel really overwhelmed. So, what you want to look out for is just, are you feeling, regularly sort of down, or are you feeling down more than you can handle? And in that case, you would want to reach out for help.
And it's a tough time too because of these emotions, and if you've lost a loved one during this time, and it triggers some sadness, and you get into this weird space. Some of the things that we can do to help prevent having these thoughts of loneliness or help ourselves with depression, Angela, there's no age restriction. It can happen to anybody. Should we stay away from social media? Should we call a friend? What do we do first if we're just starting to slip a little because we know this happens to us every year?
Yeah, I think just being proactive is probably the best thing you can do. Try to make a plan. If you, like you said, if you're grieving, for sure, we deal with people who are grieving all the time, and we deal with people who are managing a mental health condition. And so both of those can be especially difficult during the holidays. And I would just say make a plan. If it doesn't feel right to celebrate this year in the ways that you used to because that loved one is gone, or you're just dealing with a particularly difficult time in your own mental health journey, let people know early, make a plan, say, you know what, I know I can't deal with a whole day at Uncle Bob's house on Christmas Day. I know that's going to trigger me. I know that's going to be bad. I can't handle having people over here like I usually do. I would say all of those things are fine. Make the plan and communicate it, and then try to make an alternate plan, something that you know will bring you joy. So maybe the holidays aren't going to look the same as they used to, but you're going to call that best friend, and you guys are going to get together, and you're just going to do something silly. You're going to go to the Chinese restaurant, like in A Christmas Story. You're going to go see a movie. If it's going to be really, really painful to think about trying to do those typical holiday traditions with a person who may be missing, create something new. Distract yourself. Do something completely different. Go for a hike. Go to a movie. Find a concert that you might want to go to, just to distract yourself, because, sitting there and looking at that empty spot at the table might just be too painful.
Yeah, brutal.
With time, maybe you can readopt those traditions, but don't force it. Don't force it.
Yeah, and you advocate, and I think this is great. It's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no, and you can practice it. Practice it in the mirror. Practice how you're going to say that.
No.
Not ready. I'm more comfortable doing it this way. No, thank you. I have to stand it. I'm a pleaser. I got to stand in front of the mirror and practice how I'm going to say no. And that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, you need to come to my no camp.
Great.
I have a no camp every summer.
I will go. I need to sign
up. Setting personal boundaries is a big deal, because people, even well-meaning folks, could say something that is difficult for you to hear and something you were concerned about, which is why maybe you didn't want to come to whatever said event might be. And it's perfectly okay to say, yeah, you know what, I just don't really want to talk about that. That doesn't make you a bad person.
Right.
That's just taking care of your own mental health.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And there is just a lot of pressure around Christmas in general. Even families where there was trauma or not the most I don't know, a little bit of dysfunction, even those families kind of pull it together and have a happy Christmas. So it's just a lot of pressure, especially if you're a parent. We know that people are struggling financially still coming out of the pandemic. And so really kind of setting expectations around gift giving can be helpful too. Maybe you do more of like a white elephant or like a gift exchange where you draw names. Those kind of things can really be helpful too. Homemade gifts, experiences instead of gifts, things like that can be helpful too.
And get outside. Get outside during daylight hours. Don't just stay inside.
Absolutely. I mean, that's another thing. What is it? Sunset, I think, is like 4:15 or something today.
I think it's noon. It's noon until the 21st.
Basically, you better get out right now.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, that can really compound feelings as well. Now, I mean, there is a seasonal affective disorder is a diagnosable mental health condition, right? And that's different than just kind of being down because the sun is not out. But, I mean, it can lead to that too. So just be really, aware of trying to get out if there's just a little bit of sunshine. If you have to work during the day and you're not going to be able to get out, maybe working near like a window so you see a little bit of sunshine, or just having bright lights, in your home, some really nice lighting, some candles, even that can help. But yeah, I mean, definitely the reduced sunlight is a big, big factor that just compounds all of these things.
And if you're worried about somebody and you don't know what to do, you can always get a hold of AFSP. But you also have one more of these Talk Saves Lives events for the holiday season. It's Thursday, 6 o'clock. It's on Zoom. It's virtual. You can sit and listen. You could be involved and ask questions if you want. Anything in between is also okay. Where do they go to find out more and sign up and all that? I would
actually just go to our webpage, which is afsp.org/Illinois. So afsp.org/Illinois. And you'll see it pop up as the most recent event, the current event that's coming up next. And it is Talk Saves Lives, the standard version. It is a great program. It's under an hour. Like you said, you don't have to turn on your camera and you don't have to unmute. You can just listen. But there is a Q&A that happens at the end of the session. If you have some specific questions that you'd like to talk about, we'll stay on the line and talk people through some of their questions.
Angela?
So good.
Thank you.
You bet.
And happy holidays.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Angela.
And the only thing we want you folks to do is take care of yourselves.
That's right. That's the most important thing. Take care of yourself.
And take care of others if you're not taking care of you.
Remove the pressure.